Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about Anakin Skywalker himself, Hayden Christensen's comments around the prequel movies Star Wars, which I'll tell you now, and I'm sure you'll agree, they do look a lot better by comparison to Lucasfilm's sequel trilogy. Doesn't make them actually particularly great films, because they're not. I do think we tend to look back on things with a certain rose-tinted view, but if you go back and watch them, yeah, they're still not great. And they don't put a handle to the original trilogy. But, hey, Hayden Christensen, unfortunately, has spoken candidly about the criticism, the sort of hatred that those films get. And he does miss the point. He does miss the point. And I think, there's a lot to be said for individuals putting Hayden Christensen on a pedestal. I'm sure it's great to see him back in the role. I don't doubt that. If you're a Star Wars fan, yeah, cool. Good to see him back in the role. Good to see him... I guess. I don't know. It seems to be people really excited for him coming back. But it's important not to let people forget that they were maligned for a reason, and they were maligned because they were bad by comparison. You know, they were bad films in general. They recently did or they're going to be doing a re-release in theatres soon. If you went back and watched that in the theatre, I'm sure it would not hold up remotely. They didn't hold up when they were released. Doubt they're going to hold up now. Let's put it that way. So let's dive into this today. Hit subscribe if you're new here, folks. Turn the bell notifications on. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. H Reviews. So here he is. He's talking about his performance, his criticism of the performance, or the criticisms of his performance. And you know what? I've said this before. He's actually a good actor. Like, if you see him in other stuff, he's a pretty decent actor. He's not bad. Not bad at all. And I think he's done the right thing. Well, he's not really done the right thing, because he left the sort of public eye for a while, sort of started taking on smaller roles, and now he's back in the same role that people hated him in. But they love him in it now. Work that one out. But anyway, so he's spoken about this. And he says, look, it was a big adjustment for me. Everything changed pretty quickly in my life when I got cast in Star Wars, you know? It was an exciting time, but everything was very new. I appreciated that George Lucas went out of his way to try to help me navigate a lot of that. But there's no way of really preparing for it. You just have to learn as you go. Okay. And then obviously, was it hard to deal with? What's the situation with that? Well, Hayden Christensen admits that it hurt to have his performance torn apart. But what's the blame that he lays on it? It's not where it should be. Says, because Star Wars had the cultural impact that it has, these characters almost become public domain, where people feel a sense of ownership over them. The character was criticised, my performance was criticised, and that part sucked. But I also felt like I had some context that perhaps helped a little bit. When episode 1 came out, there was a lot of excitement that they were making a new Star Wars, and it was going to be the backstory of Darth Vader. But I had friends that were upset that the character was starting off as this young kid. And I watched the film and I loved it. Oh well, there we go, we're getting some problems. It was everything I wanted and more. Okay, so I guess we can potentially say that Hayden Christensen's opinion on film is not great. And I didn't understand the disconnect between the movie that I saw and the negativity in some of the reviews. In a way, that sort of criticism, I think, comes from a certain failure of their own suspension of disbelief. Oh my god, there you go. Hayden Christensen is blaming the audience because he liked the first one and other people didn't. Oh, goodness me. It's this tired old drum that they keep beating. All you people, you apologists that love Hayden Christensen, sure, fine, be my guest. You know, again, he's not a bad actor. But, mate, you're back in Star Wars now. You got a vested interest in promoting it. You got a vested interest in propping it up. And just because you were clearly young, dumb, and blinded by Anakin Skywalker's performance as a child, cool. Yeah, you loved it. No one else did. Very few people did. That it's criticised for a reason. It was just bizarre. It was a bizarre thing. It was as if a different person made them. Quite frankly. But remember, ladies and gents, it's your failure of suspension of disbelief. That's right. That's right. You could not suspend your disbelief enough to enjoy those films. You bad, bad bigot. Fucking hell. Oh, what a crock. Oh, there's more. If you're going to go sit in a theatre and the opening scroll starts with, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, that's setting the stage that anything is possible. Yeah, like enjoying garbage movies. Anything's possible in a galaxy far, far away. Up is down, left is right, good is bad, bad is good. Just consume the slop. These people don't need to sound and behave the way that we might expect. And if you're going to sit down and think that you're getting somewhere that is of our current zeitgeist, then you're setting yourself up for something else. You know what I mean? Yes, mate, I know what you mean. Because you're back as Anakin Skywalker in projects. I understand. But no. The criticism was well-founded. Right? It was well-founded on those films. And ultimately, a lot of it was a whiplash effect. Right? When a sequel or a prequel is so fundamentally different, it makes you break your neck. Whiplash. Because you're like, my God, what's gone on with this? Who's put their fingers in this pie? It was once cherry, now it's sour. Weird analogy, but you get my drift, right? It's just like, no, the criticism was more than valid, more than justified. Absolutely fine. But yes, that's right. Yeah. We must expect it. The thing is, again, you compare it to the original trilogy, that's where people were really disappointed, where people were let down. And look, I'm sure by comparison with the sequel trilogy now, they're good films. I'm sure by comparison they are. But if you actually went back and watched them, I think people have rose-tinted goggles on this. If you went back and watched them, they don't hold up, they're not good. And I think you'd realise, you'd find some newfound hatred all over again as for why you dislike them. I'm sure, like I'm genuinely certain of that. So all of this, I think, is just some bizarre effort to, I don't know, cling on to some relevancy, I guess. It's looking like they're even trying to bring Jar Jar Binks back as well. Yes. Yep. Ahmed Best is potentially teasing a return as the annoying Gungan that everyone wanted to punch in the face. And bless him, he didn't deserve all the hatred that he got. It wasn't his fault. George Lucas had a weird Gungan fetish. But anyway, look at this, what it is. What can you say? You missed the mark, Hayden, my dude. You missed the mark. Darth Vader simps for Star Wars, I guess will be the title of this video. So cheers, guys. Leave your thoughts down below. Bye now.